They say no is a complete sentence, but why is it that I feel like I'm stabbing someone on the eye every time I say it? It's crazy to me to think about all the thousands of yeses we say when we really just want to say no. And why is it this that we do this, in particular women? Now, obviously, most of us know that all these yeses, or actually our inability to say no, stems deeply from people pleasing, right? I'm guilty of this 100%. So let's dive into people pleasing and why the heck are we doing it? Hey, y'all. I'm Mick. Welcome to my channel where midlife gets its mojo back on. I give women the real talk blueprint to stop sleepwalking through life and start living fully awake with clarity and a whole lot of joy. In this space, we feel all the feels. Yep, even the messy ones, because the messy ones actually give us the most messaging in life. But once we've discovered the message or the why, then we start taking action, because without action, we're just sleepwalking. Without action, nothing changes. And if you want to be different, you've got to do different. See, I believe wholeheartedly that you are meant to bathe, to be anything and do everything that you desire. And let me be very clear here. When I say this, to bathe, if you don't choose who you want to be and what you want to do, let's be honest. Someone is out there happily willing to give those answers to you, happily will fill the blanks out for you and write your script. And that is what's happening with women now. We are operating under someone else's script. And while I truly understand that most of your life has been about others, what their wants and their needs, not here. Not here, sister. Here we talk about you. That's right. I said you. When I say bathe, be anything and do everything, I don't mean do more. No thanks. We're doing enough. But I am saying do more of you, your wants, your desires. That's what bathe is all about. It's actually tapping into what you need. And that's the difference. That's the mindset shift. Because let's be honest, you've got dreams. I know you do. Of course you do. And I'm just here to hand you the map, right? You just need to know how to get there. And I want to help you. So if you're ready to go from dreamer to doer, stick around. This is where we take action. So let's get into it. Let's talk people pleasing. If you catch yourself nodding yes when inside you're screaming, hell no, I don't want to do this anymore. Why do I keep saying yes to the things I hate? Listen, this does not make you a bad person. This makes you human. And this is a sign that you are burning out. If saying yes is starting to trigger this anger, this resentment inside of you, it's time to stop, to pause, reflect, and redirect. Now, I see you, and I know why this is hard for you, because you've always been the fixer. You've always been the helper. You're the scheduler. You're the peacemaker. You're the go-to person. You have built an entire identity around being the predictable one, the dependable one, the reliable one, the one that does it all. But somewhere between everyone else's needs and your color-coded calendar, you lost track of yourself, your voice, and now you're just doing for others all the time without even considering your feelings. So, of course, you are emotionally tapped out. You're tired, girl. It's exhausting to be the one that's always saying yes, 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 yes. And I get it. Out of all the things, all the shit that I had to work out on my head, this has been one of the top. I've probably spent thousands of dollars on therapy just on the people pleasing part. So I'm going to try to save you a whole lot of money, time, and energy. And let me give it to you straight. Here's the thing. People pleasing is not kindness. It's actually fear. It's dressed up fear. Fear of disappointing, fear of rocking the boat, fear of making someone else's life inconvenient, God forbid. You don't say yes because you want to. You're saying yes because you were trained to believe your worth is tied to some sort of usefulness for others. But here's the shift that needs to happen. Saying no isn't selfish. It's required. Hear my words. Saying no is not selfish. It's required. And I'm not talking about some self care bullshit of putting a mask on. I'm talking about using no as a complete sentence. Your energy isn't a community potluck dinner. It's a sacred, sacred space. Your energy is yours. And somehow you have given the key to everyone and now are serving as a doormat. And people are taking advantage of you. They're taking your inability to say no and just sucking it out of you, sucking the life out of you. So, people pleasing isn't just a bad habit, it's wired deep, deep in our brains and our souls. By the way, a side note, have you noticed all the people you're saying yes to, how it's often not reciprocated? Now, that's a different YouTube episode. But we need to start living more in alignment. Now, I get the science that we crave approval and belonging because it's deeply rooted in us. Like evolution, we were created to be in these packs, and being part of a group meant survival and doing for others. And that, in essence, is obviously a beautiful thing. To be in community of people, of course, you want to be helpful, you want to do for others. But you also need to protect your energy because when we say yes to people, obviously it lights us up. It lights up our brains and our reward system. Internally, we're like, oh, we're accepted. Oh, we're loved. Oh, we're needed. And that makes us feel good until it doesn't. As women, why we fear rejection and conflict and the thought of saying no triggers this anxiety. It's like a flooding system. Alert, alert. If you say no, you're going to create some havoc, and havoc creates conflict, and conflict becomes uncomfortable, and don't go there. So just suck it up, buttercup, and say yes. So between the anxiety of saying no to someone and the fact that so many of us are people pleasers because we tie it into our self-worth, this whole thing becomes such a fuckery of fakery, and it just messes with our brains. We've attached all this, even though it's going against us and it's depleting us and it's burning us out. We have somehow wired to believe like this is how we bring value, this is how we belong. So saying yes is hardwired into us. It's a hardwired habit, and our brain is often on autopilot. We don't even think about it. We don't even pause. We're just like, yes, 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 let me drop everything. So we will never learn to say no without actually shifting our conscious and making a true effort. We've got to practice saying no. Like anything else, like any other habit, requires a lot of practice. And here's the kicker with people pleasing: as if it's not enough that we attach it to our self-worth, as if it's not enough to feel like we belong somewhere, then God forbid we even think about saying no, guilt. It pops right in your face. And then it's like, oh, I'm such a terrible person. How could I not do this? The shit that goes through our head is ridiculous. The enormous amount of guilt we are carrying because we are trying to protect our boundaries. I mean, just that alone sounds so ridiculous. But it's our nature, gals, and I get it. We've been taught that boundaries are selfish or rude, and breaking that conditioning feels so uncomfortable. Now, intellectually, oh my gosh, we are sharp, we are smart cookies. We know this. We understand this. And we can actually point it out on others, but when it comes to ourselves, blind spots. Hello, we are still saying yes to shit we don't even want to do. I read somewhere, and I'm going to mess up the numbers here, but it was a lot. It was alarming. It's like we say yes to so many things in our lives that we want to say no to. And the amount of hours, time, and energy we spend doing things we don't want to do is ridiculous, right? So, in order to break this habit, you got to figure out the shit. You got to connect the dots. I always say, don't spend too much time with the past. It's important only to connect the dots so you can move forward. So, one of the things you have to do is go figure out why it is that you people please. Is it fear of rejection? Is it wanting to belong? Is it wanting to be part of a group? Is it because you don't want to really deal with your life, so you'd rather be busy doing for others? Figure out your shit and handle it. Okay, for me, 100% all day long, my people pleasing came from my childhood. I'm one of 6 kids. There was always a lot of chaos around. When my dad took off, my mom was working too much. We didn't have a lot going on. Financially, we had a lot of hardships. If you follow me, you know my story. I'm not going to bore you, but let me tell you, I have spent most of my life wanting to be seen And the way I was validated was by doing for others. So I'm a yes girl, and I've been a yes girl my whole life. You can imagine how many of those yeses got me in a lot of trouble because I did not belong in those places. But because I wanted to belong, I wanted to be loved, I wanted to be liked, I said yes, 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 and yes. Now, to this day, I still battle with this. And I have to work very, very hard to set up my boundaries. And while I do a superb job now, by the way, at calling myself out, it does require that. You're going to have to stop and figure out your reason why and be like, ah, that's the bullshit. And for me, I do this all the time. When people ask me things, I'm like, yeah, am I doing them for the right reasons? Or am I doing it because I want her or them or whatever to like me or to think that I'm valuable or that I belong? No, 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 no. I don't play that bullshit game anymore, but I used to. So I get it. But I promise if you call bullshit on yourself, things move along a lot faster. A lot of this work, that's what it requires. It's mirror work. It's like looking in the mirror and just like, okay, call it out, call the bullshit on yourself. And the best part about all of this is learning this, that I've been able to really set up my strong boundaries. And guess what? By setting up the boundaries, a lot of the takers, you know who they are, the people who are there just taking, 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 are now gone because I am not allowing for them. I mean, the access they had to me to just like, vampire and just suck the life out of me because I was always doing for them. Of course, go to Mick. She'll say yes. No thanks. It's like that commercial, Mikey will eat it. It was like, Mick will do it. And I did for a long time. I don't anymore. So what's next? What do you do after you name your bullshit? Well, then it gets much easier. And I'll tell you why. Next time someone asks you to do something, I want you to just pause, right? Just take a moment. And instead of saying yes, like you've done your whole life, I want you to practice these words. Let me check my schedule. I'll get back to you. This one sentence buys you so much time to make a choice that is really meaningful and that's really coming from a good place. So remember, simple sentence. Let me check my schedule and I'll circle back. Okay, so now you've called the bullshit. You've learned your new pause sentence. And now we are going to redefine the word no as a sacred yes. So let me explain. Every time you say no to something, you're actually saying yes to something else. And that yes is to your peace, to your priorities, to your well being, to your sanity. Every time you say no, you're saying yes to those things. Now, of course, this requires practice. Because again, remember, you are hardwired to be a certain way. So this is the action part. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. This requires practice, like active practice. This does not just come on overnight. I still get tripped up. Just last week, I caught myself doing some stuff, like someone called me, asked me for a favor. I literally dropped everything I was doing for me, for my business, for my life, for my work to help someone, not a random, but I wouldn't say she's close to my circle, my people, to just be helpful, to be a giver. Because God forbid I don't do and be and I'll show up for people all the time. It took me a minute to be like, oh my gosh, I'm doing it again. So, of course, I completed the task. But then I was like, no, I will not do that again. And I was able to call myself out. So you have to allow for those moments to trip up. It's okay. Call bullshit on yourself and do better next time. Here's the soundbite that you need to hear. Every reluctant yes has been chipping away at your energy, your self respect, and your time for long enough. For you to fully transform is less about mastering the word no and so much more about understanding that saying no to something draining means saying yes to your priorities and your well being. That's how simple it is. Say no to something, say yes to self. This mental switch changes everything. Because next time someone asks you to do something, you will pause and think, does this align with me? Does this align with my values? Okay, if it does, amazing. But if it doesn't, protect yourself. Protect yourself. No one else will, by the way. And when you flip that lens, You know what goes away is the guilt. It's the guilt because you're less concerned about their feelings and more concerned about protecting yours. Now, if you're feeling like, oh, great, this sounds so easy, but it's not because I still feel guilty because I'm always feeling guilty, right? Listen, link to my website. It's in the show notes. Connect with me one on one. I guarantee you in 15 minutes, we'll have this shit figured out. Now, I want to hear from you though. What's one thing that you said yes to this week that just made you cringe? Like, I want to hear it. Let's build a space where we can have these honest conversations and not judge each other, but help each other grow to be better and do better. Until next time, I'm Mick, and I'm reminding you to be anything and do everything.